What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Hype House live from the Tampa, Florida area. So, very thankful to be here. I'm honored and excited to take the 11-hour drive from High Point, North Carolina to this beautiful paradise down in Florida. And I want to personally thank Naylor because you're the gentleman that invited me down here.
You're welcome.
I'm sure you maybe had to get permission from the group, but thanks for inviting me. I do appreciate it.
No problem.
But this is the first annual Green Industry Hype House, and I got my man over here to the left, Paul Jamison. If you do not know who he is the head cook and bottle washer with the Green Industry podcast. And yeah, scratch your head there, didn't you? So, the man in charge. But anyway, with the Green Industry podcast, and also #1 best-selling Amazon author.
Thank you, Mitch.
Cut that grass and make that cash. But anyway, tell us why we're here.
So a long time ago, I was talking to Naylor, and I said it'd be really cool if we got a bunch of guys that made content, YouTube videos, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever platform, and if we all got together and we just collaborated, we made videos together. A lot of times we'll do live streams, and I was on your live stream and my phone kept getting in and out, and it's like, let's just...
Pretty bad.
Yeah, it was horrible. So let's just get together in a room. But it was just an idea, and Naylor's like, that's a great idea, yeah, let's do it, and then Caleb Auman got involved, and he was like, hey, you guys gonna do it? And then his wife Brittany and Liz, they got involved, and they're like, let's actually do it. They were the executors, and so they booked the venue, they got things lined up, Element took care of the house, and so this is a dream for a podcaster because I travel. I've been to your house, I've been to your family's property, so I'm on the road going to these guys. So for me, this is like awesome because I just have to go to the other room and be like, hey, come pop on a podcast. So it's a lot of fun. We've been here all week. Mitchell just got in today, and Blake, and so I'm really excited for the rest of the week. You can just see Mitchell's getting here. There's a podcast going on there.
It's crazy everywhere.
And like, 4 things going on at the same time. So we're having a blast, and Jason's got to go back tomorrow, but I think you had a good time, Mr.
We've
Bammer.
had a great time, I tell you what.
So real quick, this is Jason Krill, and I met him for the first time officially as I was backing my truck into the driveway, and he was eating a hamburger over the balcony. So looking forward to getting to know you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you are
I'm leaving
tomorrow.
3:40 in the morning. So.
Good. Better you than me.
Yeah.
So that's about what time I left this morning, so I feel the pain. But tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Jason Creel. I live in north of Birmingham, Alabama, and my channel on YouTube is Lawn Care Life, and I run a weed control and fertilization company called Alabama Lawn Pros. I used to mow grass before that, but now I'm kind of the weed control guy, and that's what I talk a lot about lawn care, from weed control, mowing, whatever, on YouTube. But yeah, they included me in this event, Hype House, whatever you want to call it, and I've had a good time because, like people like you see people on YouTube and stuff, but never get to meet them. So being together, there's something great about it. Obviously, it's good for creating content because you're right here together, but also just building deeper relationships.
Now, I got a question for you, Jason. What made you transition over from cutting the grass to just doing the treatments?
All right, so a couple things. One, I moved to a new area, and so I sold my business, and so I kind of had a chance to start over.
Gotcha.
I had a guy that was like a trusted friend who could mentor me, because it's a little bit intimidating. Like, you got to start spraying yards, and to be honest, there's just a lot to learn. So having somebody who said, hey, if you want to do this, I'll teach you how to do it, that made a big difference. And then for me, when I got into doing it, I was doing both. I was mowing and spraying, and I was kind of doing a little math in my head. I might not have the Excel worksheet like Paul does, but when I did a yard and I sprayed that yard, and I was mowing the same yard, and I was kind of crunching the numbers, and one took me 7 minutes and one took me 45 minutes. I was like, I think I'm gonna do a little bit more of the spraying and a little bit less than the mowing. You know, again, nothing against mowing. I like mowing lawns. I like lawn equipment. I mow a lot of lawns, but you know, I kind of got into spraying. There's pros and cons of both, but it's something I really enjoy.
Good deal, good deal. Well, I'm excited to be here, and you're the reason why I'm here. You asked me to come, and you know, we were talking just a minute ago, like my expectations and stuff, and I've been seeing in everybody's post since Sunday that this house is insane. But the pictures, the videos do not do this place justice. I think there's like at least 25 different balconies on this thing. I don't even know what floor I'm on right now.
Well, it has an elevator. I mean, you know, most houses don't have elevators.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. So, and I think, you know, just the priority this week is just, you know, creating good content for the community, recording a bunch of podcasts, you know, doing these live streams and engaging with you, the followers, subscribers, supporters, fans, friends, family, everything.
Part of the live streams is we want to bring you into this house because, for example, Shawn Spencer's operating behind the scenes here today. He'll be on in a minute, but Shawn and Caleb and Brian and myself, Naylor thought it was funny, took a picture. We're in the hot tub, but we're talking high-level business and like off air, we're talking about how we can take our business, our marketing, just thinking how we can improve our business. And so these conversations are gold. So sometimes you have to turn, if you can remember, hit the record button, you know, turn the mics on, turn the cameras on, just so you can be a part of these conversations. We'll sit at the dinner table and like, we're not talking about who won the game or anything like that. We're talking about business and having a marketing list and just like, I mean, you guys have been here for a while. The off-air conversations are deep, and you'll see, Mitchell. It's awesome. So we're glad for those who tune in and hopefully feel like you're part of it. We can't replace the 75 degrees. Some of us are going to look like a lobster tomorrow, but we can share the knowledge vicariously, you know.
Yeah, good deal, good deal. And again, to my right is Naylor Taliaferro. Did I say it right?
Nice, yeah.
Good deal. Or Naylor, as they like to call you. But you are our LCR Media and Lawn Care Rookie.
Yeah.
You know, for those that don't know.
Appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, just like I think just like all of us, you know, we have a business or had a business or whatever with lawn care, landscaping. We kind of became by default a part of this community, and then somehow or another we, you know, found YouTube, you know, Instagram, the whole social media aspect of the lawn and landscape community. And the same thing happened for me. 7 years ago, I started my business, lawn care business, and I just started doing some research online because I wanted to be the best I could at it. I was going from a homeowner to a professional, and that's when I stumbled upon some YouTube videos, some guys that were posting regular content, such as Shawn Spencer, Spencer Lawn Care, and some other folks that aren't doing it anymore. And I saw this beginnings community, and then I wanted to get involved and create a channel called Lawn Care Rookie because I was literally a rookie, starting from scratch, just, you know, having some weird ideas, trials and tribulations and things like that that I wanted to share. Because some of the guys, you know, like Spencer was also doing things, Shawn Spencer was doing some new things too, but, you know, he still was talking about things that were a little bit more past where I was. I was literally just starting. He had already been doing it for, you know, a few years. So I wanted to do the whole rookie thing. And this obviously evolved through there, and I just shortened it to LCR and then created LCR Media just to kind of really streamline all my social media aspect of it to that entity so that I can keep my lawn care business and lawn care stuff separated with that. So just always making new content, have a podcast now, LCR Media Podcast. And I'm always going around, whether it's YouTube, you know, making videos like Get to Know the Pro and Get to Know Mitchell and a lot of other great content creators in the industry, or podcasting, or all of the above. So it's just been a good time to keep watching this community grow. More people coming into it, creating YouTube channels, podcasts, and getting on Instagram, and just creating great content and growing the community even more. So Jason was another OG that I was watching in the very early days, 8 years ago. So
I'm curious what if you're allowed to share that. No, I knew what that meant. I told me that
Original gangster.
Well, yeah, I got that part.
All right.
Well, you didn't know State Highway Patrol officer, man.
I knew he was in law.
Wait, you want to kick the dead horse.
Yeah, all right. What's the name of your actual lawn business? Are you allowed to share that?
yeah, it's Clean Cut Lawn Care.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've heard that, but I
Yeah. I mean, like, so a lot of guys will act like Mitchell's Lawn Care. They will kind of it'll go for both. It goes for their channel and their business. I just came up with a different name. I just, for whatever reason, didn't think of naming my channel my business. A lot of guys, I think, start too YouTube or Instagram or Facebook to market their lawn care business, and then it by default kind of becomes a little bit greater than that because other people find it, other contractors find it, and it becomes more of a peer-to-peer thing than a business-to-business type thing. And so I just started right out the gate with just Lawn Care Rookie and just make it a separate thing. I never really talked about my business, but obviously I show me doing the work and talk about different topics. So.
That's a strategy I took. My business is separate from my YouTube channel, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Are there any questions coming in?
There were some asking how frequently do you spray lawns, Jason?
Yeah, I do 7 applications a year. Right in Alabama, we do that year round. So for me, 7 apps. I usually do 4 apps the first half of the year, 3 apps the second half of the year. So once I get past the end of June, my life becomes a little bit easier, so I'm excited about that. Well, I still got several months to go, so.
Oh, yeah, that's a year-round thing for you, though, isn't it? 'Cause you
Yeah,
got
it
the
never
winterizer
stops.
and all that stuff.
It never stops.
Good deal.
Another question is, can you each share how many accounts you typically take care of per week or, on a weekly basis?
For weed control, for us, I typically average like 15 to 20 a day, depending on, and if I get in like the bigger yards, it may be 12 to 15, but probably average 15 to 20 yards a day. So depending on the weather and time of the year and things like that. And some apps take longer than others, but so 100 a week would be a great week for me.
Yeah, for me, for lawn maintenance, mowing lawns every day throughout the week, 5 days, 4 days, 4-day mowing week is how we have it. So we have the fallback on Friday to catch up on any rain delays or any landscape maintenance, but we take care of 65 to 70 yards in 4 days. It fluctuates a little bit just because you have neighbors, they go on vacation, they want you to pick up their yard for a little while, and then sometimes they become permanent and then people fall off, they move, whatever. Every year there's that attrition throughout the year, so it's always around like that 65, 70 mark. I don't want to get it too much past that for one crew before I start a second crew. I don't want to get up to 80, which is a common thing. That's going to be a lot in 4 days. So I just stick to 65, 70, and then move on to the second crew.
Is that a 2-man crew or a 3-man crew? I was curious.
Ideally, it's 2-man, but some one specific day where Paul was in that neighborhood, we have a 3-man crew because we've got like 20-something yards in that one neighborhood. And on those 100-degree days in July and August, it's a lot easier to blow through when 3 guys can divide and conquer. We don't really get it done as too much faster, but we get done with the day with more energy, and we can actually go out and do stuff and not be dead, and we can start the next day all over again and not be like dragging our feet because we all divide and conquer. But typically it's a 2-man crew for most days.
Right now, just last year I went back to part-time, so this is a part-time gig for me now, but last year I had 17 properties that I was managing by myself, and it was too much. So previous to that, 2019, when I went from full-time to part-time, we finished off 2019 in a full-time status with 87 accounts. So that 80 number, but we had 3 guys. But we were going from Monday to Friday, and actually put out a video on the channel a while back talking about something that would help you going from part-time to full-time, and that would be leaving that wiggle room day or leaving that flexibility day where if something does happen, you've got time to handle maintenance, or if there's a weather delay or something like that. I learned from that mistake the hard way. I was cramming my schedule full to make sure that my guys were working 5 days a week, but then if we had the weather delay, it was making for 12 and 14-hour days. You tell an employee they got to work 14 hours on a Saturday, you're going to get some feedback that a little bit negative. So I learned the wrong way very quickly, and that's why I try to tell people that and learn from my mistakes, not to make those mistakes. But going into 2021, I'm cutting back even further, and I'm not focusing on properties. I know we in the green industry, even hardscaping and landscaping, people get focused on how many properties do you handle. I don't care, because I could do 1 property that equals your 60. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm focusing on route density, which seems to be your thing lately, you know, that's your go-to, but route density and acreage. I want to go to like 2 or 3 properties 1 day a week in 1 day and have an 8-hour day. So my goal for 2021 is to have what I've got right now. I've gone from 17 to 5. I told somebody that the other day and they're like, what? You're only gonna have 5 properties? It's gonna take me 8 hours to do those 5 properties.
Because they're massive properties.
Exactly. So one of them's gonna take me like 4.5 to 5 hours, and it's over 7 acres. So I'm focusing on acreage. That's my thing for this year.
And that's a good point, that we should have kind of used that as in the beginning. People get caught up on social media with numbers, and it's not relative to everybody. So I'm saying 65 to 70, but you don't even know what my yards look like, how big they are. So that might beat you down or pump you up. Like, man, I do 90, or oh man, I can only do 50. Like, what kind of yards, you know, do you have, and can you do in the time frame? So I'm talking about 65 to 70, 10,000 square foot yards on average. You know, a little smaller, a little bit bigger. You know, and Mitch was talking about 5 like acres. You know, 8 yards that have acreage. So it's all relative. You really have to get the full context when you ask these questions and when you do this research, so that you're getting the right numbers and you're not like beating yourself up, you know, or thinking that you need to achieve something that's almost unachievable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't have 65 to 70 of the yards that you're doing 5 of.
No.
You know,
It's
so.
taking me 4 weeks to do this.
Right. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because we get way out on, you know, left field a lot on social media, and people get caught up seeing this setup, that setup, these amount of yards, and that's like the go-to. You know, how many yards do you have? How many, right? That's like the go-to thing. How many yards do you have? And I get it. I wanted to kind of know that too, so I can gauge how much I should have or how much could I possibly do. And you got to just make sure you have the full context. Like, well, what kind of yards are they? How big are they? You know, what neighborhoods are they? Rural or are they urban? All that stuff.
So Mitchell, having a little bit more fun, an off-topic question is, somebody kept asking, how much do you bench?
How much do I?
Yeah, I just want to know how much you bench.
Who's asking?
Why does that matter?
That's irrelevant.
What I used to or now?
Personal best.
My personal best ever was like probably 10 years ago when I had younger shoulders, was 375.
So 2 Caleb's essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably get, you know,
That's a
look
masonry.
at that.
That's hard masonry muscles right
Yeah,
there.
believe
Right
it.
now, like 225 for reps, and I'm good. Yeah. So
Hang on.
my shoulders can't handle much anymore. So have a seat, Shawn.
You want a question, or do you want to go to them?
We're good. No, one thing I did want, you know, we were talking about the number of properties, you know, and it's mainly younger guys that ask that stuff, and it's mainly green industry, because, you know, someone's not going to ask you, like, you know, how many hardscaping jobs are you going to do, because it's different, because you may be on one job for 2 weeks, you know, so it's irrelevant, but.
Better be doing 30 a day.
You know,
Yeah, right.
instead of asking those questions, you know, in whatever social media platform you are, or in communication or conversation with somebody, you know, ask that person or that professional or contractor or whatever, like, how many acres, you know, how many acres do you do, you know, between Monday and Thursday or Monday and Friday, or how much square footage are y'all servicing? That's going to give you a lot better, you know, mindset and aspect of what's going on, because the numbers don't matter. Like I said before, you know, he could have 100 and I could have 2, and we do the same amount of acreage. So, real quick, Shawn Spencer, Caleb Auman. This is the first time meeting Caleb.
Yeah,
and you know, you're and who else? So Andy Mulder is coming too,
Yep, a little
and
bit.
Josh Sutton. I think they're coming tomorrow.
Andy's coming. He's inbound like within an hour or so.
But all 3 of y'all are in the hardscape community, correct?
Yeah, more so. Yeah. yes,
Okay.
sir.
So you know, I felt bad because you know, I've heard your name a few times, but I didn't follow you or Andy or Josh, because I'm not have nothing to do with the hardscape scene. But I quickly jumped onto your profiles and looked at what these guys are doing, and y'all are true artists. It's amazing what you do. So I was blown away. But tell us a little about yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Caleb. Our company is Auman Landscape. We're a landscape design build company in beautiful southeast Ohio. As Paul Jamison always reminds me, Fairfield County, Ohio. It's gotten to be my name tag or my tag there. We're based there. We service primarily only that county. We try to stay relatively, again, route dense, even for service projects, serving primarily only that county. We do some stormwater work that's commercial, and that's all over the state of Ohio, actually. But we focus on hardscape construction, and then we do some landscape plantings, landscape design, installs, those kind of things. And then we do the social media thing too, and been having a blast here at the Hype House, and looking forward to getting to know Mitchell here. It's gonna be a lot of fun, I think, and we got a lot of great opportunity for some cool stuff here over the next couple days. So I'm looking forward to it.
Now, where can people find you? In the
All
social
our
media realm.
Yeah, all our social media is at Auman Landscapes. So Instagram is my main jam, trying to build YouTube up, and TikTok and all that stuff we goof around with. So yeah, all our stuff is at Auman Landscape.
Good deal, man. And thanks for having me here. I was telling Naylor that also, but your better half did so much to do all organizing and everything. So I appreciate everything y'all did.
Britt and Liz did a phenomenal job getting the whole thing. Really, without them, I don't know where we'd be tonight, but it wouldn't be here. So they really are the ones that finally the guys did a bunch of talking, the girls executed, made it happen. So thanks to them for sure.
And of course, Element Software behind us.
Yeah, right. Thanks to them for the house.
So, Shawn, I know you for a little bit.
Yeah.
But for my few subscribers that are probably all in your subscriber list as well, just in case there's a couple in there that don't know you, let them know who you are.
Yeah, me and Mitchell first met, man. I did a little stint way back, in the day. It was all kind of bad. He took me in. No, I'm just kidding.
That's prison talk.
No, just kidding. So it's going to seem ironic, but I'm from Northeast Ohio.
I still got the scars from the handcuffs.
Yeah, it was rough in there, guys, rough in there. Mitchell led me.
Don't resist,
led
man.
me straight. Led me straight. But yeah, another guy here from Ohio, Northeast Ohio. We're a husband and wife team. We run Instagram, YouTube, Spencer Lawn Care. We just really enjoy everything about the lawn care community, the business side of things, getting to meet new people like Mitchell and Caleb, and like me and Caleb were rolling around this morning, jumping on people's job sites, and accidentally deleted all that footage, but so that stuff will never get aired. Maybe you can catch some of it over on Caleb's, but we were literally just crashing people's job sites and learning about what they do and pools and all that stuff. But yeah, just a good time, man. We're here in a big old mansion in beautiful Florida, and back home my guys are pushing snow, so I'm ecstatic at this point.
Much rather be here.
Oh yeah.
There any you got any questions coming in?
Yeah, we do have some questions. One, Simone says this, somebody talks about leaving door hangers and like putting an actual price on the door hanger. Do you think it's a good idea, or do you prefer to try to get them to call you and then you go out and give them a price?
It doesn't matter. Me personally, I wouldn't recommend putting your price on there. For one, you're throwing your price out there. To me, I mean, that's just trying to get the job right off the rip. You're hoping the customer looks at it. Ooh, I like that price. More than likely, that's probably going to be a cheap price. That's why you're going to get it. To me, everything just screams cheap about that. I don't know. If you're going to do something along that line, to spend a little bit more, do a direct mailer or something like that, and just have information on it where they can call you or email you and request a free estimate or whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't do, especially now with COVID. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. I wouldn't be walking up to people's doors and sticking prices on there. It's just not a route I would go. If you guys want to jump in there and throw any other details in.
Well, door hangers was huge for my company, but I didn't do the price. And in order to be successful in business, not only do you need to sell your service or your product, you got to be able to sell yourself. And I'm the number one service. I'm the number one product. If I can sell myself, I can sell anything. So putting the price out there, you may not get to engage that person, that property owner, that homeowner or whatever. And that's what I want to do. I want Mr. and Mrs. Doe to call me. I want to be able to present myself and sell myself. And if I put that door hanger out there with the price on it, in my opinion, you kind of like cut that, that umbilical cord, for lack of better words. And you don't, that avenue of communication might not be open because they see your price and then they're just like, off, too high, too low, whatever. So,
Mitchell,
yeah, I should have been a little more clear. Door hangers aren't a bad thing, just not putting the price on there.
Don't throw them in the driveway. We know you don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't throw stuff in the driveway.
Don't do the rock in the bag and toss it in somebody's driveway.
Yeah, don't do the hit and run.
Yep.
Mitchell, somebody's asking about price per acre, and I thought maybe you'd have something to say about that. You don't necessarily have to give away all your numbers, but so pricing those big properties, how do you do that? Because you're obviously saying you're going to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables, and it all depends on the region too, and is it a nice flat square where you're not trimming or edging, or is there a whole, yeah, that's what we all want, leave the trimmers and blowers on the trailer, but, is there a whole bunch of hardscaping that you've got to trim and keep manicured and pretty and keep grass clippings off of, because, we don't want them spending 2 weeks on a job and we go out there and blow crap all over, you know what I'm saying? So is there a bunch of nice hardscaping work that we have to maintain? So there's a lot of different variables, the size of the property, the topography of it, trimming, how much do you have to blow, all that stuff. So, I don't care, I'll tell my rate, because even if I'm competing with these guys, it don't matter. My per acre rate goes from like 60, 65 on the low end. I don't do anything for less than that, all the way up to like 95 an acre. 65 is like literally like dropping my trailer, I mow, I don't have to do anything else. And then, the 95 per acre is having to keep all of Caleb's work pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. Same with us. It just depends on all those variables. And you tend to find every time you get a multi-acre lot, it's going to have tree rings galore, it's going to have bird baths, it's going to have everything you can imagine, trampoline, everything, and that stuff slows you down. You're just not flying through an acre of property that I can mow an acre if it's just flat and open land, in 20 minutes or less, or, if it's got multiple trees, that same acre could take an hour. So all that plays into account, I guess you could say.
We got a question about prepayments. Do you guys do prepayments for your customers, and what type of return do you get on your prepay? What percentage of your customers prepay? When you offer them an incentive to prepay, how does that work?
In our, in the design build space, we definitely go through a draw system. So and this varies by the state. Like California has some really screwy laws when it comes to draw and deposit checks and things like that. So definitely check with the legality of it in your state. We try to break jobs down into multiple draws. So we'll get a deposit draw, or a scheduling payment, a materials payment, and all this stuff. And it's the most fair system because the client is paying for what they receive. So when materials arrive on site, we get another check. And when we're there working, like the first day, we get another check just for showing up. Then after that, it's performance payments. So we're halfway done with the project, and you craft this any way you want that works for your company. We get another draw. When all the papers are laid but not cut in, we get another draw. And ideally, you want to schedule a large project like that so that the client only owes you maybe 10%, 5% of the total bill at the end, because that way they're not hanging you for half the project, $10,000, $5,000, whatever that other 50% payment is if you go halves. They're not hanging that whole chunk of money over your head for I don't like the way that one brick sets or whatever. So things like that. When I was in lawn care many years ago, many moons ago now, as I date myself and things like that, we would bill at the end of the month and then wait another 2, 4, 5 weeks to get paid. And now so many guys are doing credit card on file, which I can't advocate for that enough. I think that's awesome, which these guys are probably doing. And, so hitting that credit card either that week, after service is rendered, or at least at the end of the month, so that if that card doesn't work or whatever, you can cut off services that moment, and you don't mow next week or the week after waiting on a check to come. And I think prepayment even is freaking awesome. I know some guys that do prepayment, which is super cool. That's like a real baller sales game. You got to be confident to pre-bill, or to charge or demand prepayment for your mowing services. But I think that is awesome. I think it's super cool. There's some dudes in the industry doing it. Reach out to them if these guys don't do it. Ask them how they do it. But it's a confidence and sales game. But man, I would be all about credit card on file and billing every week. How great would that be for your cash flow and stuff? I think that's just. So if I were ever to jump back into lawn care, you better believe I'm doing card on file, and I'm at least billing every week for service. What do you guys do? I'm curious what's up with you folks.
In there? So we do all of the above. We have commercial contracts that literally they'll pay all up front. So I'll get a $32,000 check, and you got to really hone yourself in, because you start thinking, man, I got all this money, I can start blowing it. Well, at the end of the year, taxes come. You got to pay people, things break, this or that. So you really got to manage your money. You can't just get done with it just because you get a large chunk at the beginning. And then we have same commercials that are net 30s. So we actually do all the work, all the mulch jobs at the beginning of the year, and then we bill them at the end of the month, and they have 30 days to pay that. So you're kind of sitting on a lot of labor, a lot of material, and that's just a different aspect. But then we have tons of residentials that as soon as we're there, service them, hop in the truck, payment at time of service, boom.
Dude, I think that is so cool, man.
Yeah,
I
and like
love
Caleb
that.
said, if you have an
Gosh, that's
issue,
so
you
cool.
can resolve it right there in the driveway. 90% of the times they can walk out. A credit card got declined because it simply went past its past due time or whatever. They'll give you another one, hand you a check, cash, whatever you want to do, and you can move on. And then there's a new form that we're offering because of COVID to a few customers is we're actually giving them a credit line. And it's only being extended to a few, but they've been long-term customers to us. We understand we're in times that we haven't all seen. We're not going to hold it over their heads just because, you know, they're struggling at the moment. We want to build that relationship for a long time, and we have enough overhead, enough cash flow that we can manage to do that with some of our customers. We have a church that we do that for, and that's really good for them. And they've literally just pretty much gave us a handshake. That's not a big thing in today's world, but they are a church. We've been long-term. You know, their lawn care, snow removal folks, they're going to take care of us at the end of the day. So I'll take them on their word, and you know they're going to take care of it as soon as church services get back in. They're super elderly, you know, ridden, I guess you could say. They have a lot of elderly. They don't have a lot of young folks, so they can't open this place up, and they can't chance it whatsoever. So yeah, just a quick little brief overview of how we do it.
Way more in depth than what I do.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to hit on real quick the prepayment thing. When I was running full time, I don't do prepayments anymore because all of my customers now I've had for years. But when I was running full time, the policy I had in place was any new customer prepaid. I think it was like for 4 months. We did a 4-month thing.
I like that.
If they could, prove that they can pay their bills, then we would put them on the same payment regimen that everybody else. And I would have a couple people apply. They're like, oh, you want me to pay, But then again, it all comes back to that selling yourself. That's well, I've been in business for 10 plus years. This is my word. I've got 5-star reviews here. At the end of the day, like, you don't have to use my service. There's 8,000 other people out here doing this. If you're not comfortable with my payment plan, that's fine. But that was my rules of engagement. So I just did that for a few months with new customers.
And then would you bill just at the end of the month and accept check payments and stuff like that?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
I just wanted to say you guys are doing awesome. You have 66 people watching us right now.
That's the most effort
Smash
on my
that
little
thumbs up button.
on my little baby YouTube channel.
Yeah, good job, guys. That's what it's all about.
Show Mitchell some love.
That's
Smash
3
that
times
thumbs up
more
button.
than ever before.
Yeah, I know. That's what I want to tell you.
I'm so
keep
happy.
going.
Back to the payment thing now.
67.
Proud.
Spencer Lawn Care is accepting Bitcoin.
I'm so proud.
One Bitcoin gets you a full year of service.
I'm so proud. And I don't want to kid it too long. I know Jason behind the camera, he's got to go to bed. He's got to get up in like 2 hours.
I'm all right.
So where's Blake and Brian at?
Blake, Brian.
Brian.
What?
Please, people
All
are
right.
asking for you.
Thanks for having me on, Mitchell.
Yeah, man.
Don't get too far because we're going to get everybody back on in a minute.
Okay, all right.
We're going to finish it with everybody.
Yeah, there's other questions on here.
Whatever. Hey, what you
Ask
got?
a question or you want to?
That's fine. They all know him.
All right.
This is Blake.
This is Blake. Actually, live streamed like 3 days ago. Somebody kept calling me Blake.
Yeah.
So God bless them.
What?
Blocky.
Brian Fullerton for those that have been under a rock.
Well, hey, thanks for having me on your channel. By the way, it's so cool to see you have a channel on YouTube.
My payment will be in the mail.
Checks in the mail. I was messing with Mitchell like 4 months ago. Probably longer than that now.
Well, I started my channel July 31st.
Man, time is flying. Who said that?
Yeah,
Naylor,
man.
is that you behind the light?
I'm already making
Like
like
the
millions, man.
the years are just going by, man. But we did a podcast, I think it was.
Yeah, over the summer.
I think
summer.
I think we talked an hour before just about YouTube and all that stuff, and then we did a podcast for an hour, and then I think we talked for like another hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, you gotta get on YouTube. He's like, I'm busy. Nobody wants to see what I got. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? So you started a YouTube channel, and what are you at now? Almost 2,000 subs?
Close.
That's
So
awesome.
I think we're a little over 1,800 in 6 months.
Hey, if you guys are new here, subscribe, hit the big thumbs up. Hey, and I don't know if anybody mentioned this, but shout out to Auman as well for putting on this whole
definitely.
hype house. We super appreciate them. But yeah, what questions you got, or what can I do for you guys?
What you got?
The meetup, Friday meetup, Armature Works. If you're in the Tampa area, Florida,
That is in the description down below.
I think that's 3
Oh yeah,
to 6 p.m. on Friday.
I think so. Yeah. I know it starts at 3 and then it ends whenever. I don't know.
They're asking about raising prices, so, just kind of go through that, like, somebody's saying gas prices are going up, or,
Cost of
we
living.
can always, inflation,
Yeah.
but how do you communicate that to the customer where it doesn't, they don't get mad at you and just think, oh, you're just trying to get more money out of me? Is there a time of the year you do it? How do you let them know that in the most winsome way?
Brian, you just got done doing this.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have a rate adjustment letter that we send out to our customers with our season agreement. And it's just a professional letter. It's really simple, a couple paragraphs, but it just communicates, hey, we're raising rates. In there it just says something like, we try to cut costs when we can, but other times market conditions force us to raise prices when needed. And basically because of the raising prices of cost of fuel, labor, or overhead or other costs that are outside of our controls, we're forced to raise prices. Please see your new weekly mowing rate, and it might be $2, $4, $5 more per weekly cut. I gotta preface it with, my first 10 years in business, we didn't raise prices at all. I didn't even know you should be raising prices. It's kind of embarrassing to even say that because it seems like common knowledge today because of social media, YouTube, and if you didn't know better, then you don't know what you don't know. So my first 10 years in business, I started cutting along for 20, 22, 25 bucks, and 10 years later, we were cutting lawns for 20, 22, 25 bucks. And it's just perplexing to me how we didn't really connect those dots. But we didn't know what we didn't know. So it's kind of two parallel paths are happening here. I got to take 100 customers that are established and raise their rates pretty significantly. I need to get them from where they're at to up here. So you got two options, right? Like go from here to here and probably lose half the people. You guys know how that goes. Or
It's a risk you gotta take.
it's a risk, or incrementally increase them $2 to $5 every year for 4 or 5 years. So that's what we've been doing. Every time we kind of turn the aircraft carrier, I call it, we kind of lose a few people, but so we're always marketing and trying to get new customers. But I'll tell you what, the new customers that we get on, they're starting up here, and then we're raising prices $1 or $2 every year, every other year. So it's tough because these customers are their friends, their family, their relationships that we've had for 10, 12, 15 years. So I don't want to raise their rate. I don't want to lose them as customers, but I also want to make sure that I can pay rent. I can also pay for my equipment, take care of my guys. And it's also tough too because 10, 15 years ago, we could hire somebody to string trim for $8, $10, $12 an hour. I mean, you can't even hire a kid nowadays for less than 14, 16 bucks an hour. Anybody with good head on their shoulders is 16, 18, 22 bucks an hour, which is just crazy. We weren't even talking that 4 or 5 years ago. So your rates, I'm not saying they have to go up, but most likely in the market conditions we have today. I just said this on Jason's live stream earlier. Amazon's starting people at 16 bucks an hour plus full health care and full benefits at 16 bucks an hour. A 19-year-old kid, no college degree, no nothing. So if you want to attract good people, maybe consider raising your rates so you can hire those good people. So hopefully that helps out a little bit.
We have to compete with the workforce.
Amen.
We have to compete with those other companies.
Yeah, and by the way, like how you get them is going to determine how you can keep that price at a higher price longer. Again, when I had these customers at 20, 22, 24 bucks, to take them to 35 or 40 or $45, it took 5 years because I couldn't afford to just lose 10, 20, 30% of the business, right? That'd be a sticker shock, for these customers. So it took time, but that's why I love marketing and getting new customers. And when you tell new people, hey, the weekly price is 35 or 37 or 42 or whatever your guys' weekly rate is, our prices in our area are just generally lower. God bless Michigan. But if we get somebody at 37 bucks versus it used to be 22 or 25, now we can have all of our services charged at that premium rate, and we make a lot more money. To me, that's really exciting. So whether you communicate that through a rate adjustment letter, some kind of professional couple paragraphs, even a phone call, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm not saying you should be raising rates every year or every other year, but most likely you should be raising rates every year, every other year.
To a certain degree.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I was going to double back about 40 minutes ago. You guys were talking about your production numbers per day. It was a solid nugget that you guys left, or you were talking about with how many lawns you mow per day or how many customers you have. it's almost irrelevant. But I like what you thought about production numbers. Like if you're doing $1,000 per day, or $1,500 per day, or $500 per day, that's a good way to measure your business. Not how many customers you have, but how much revenue are you producing per day.
Yeah, or we were talking about the like acreage square footage, the actual property size.
Yeah.
That's important, and then the property size, the number of customers is irrelevant.
I learned that back at True Green because we had a production number. So every day, if you hit $1,200 per day, you would get Saturdays off, or if you work Saturday, you get extra commissions on your route that day. So I made sure to hit my production numbers per day, and then Saturday, I always work Saturdays. I was just a workaholic back then, and even still today. But then Saturday was a really profitable day. So production numbers per day. I think Dan Locke calls it your daily income goal. So your digs. So figure out what you need to bring in per day for your business, or your life. By the way, your life. I mean, let's say you need $60,000 a year to pay your bills in your life. You know, that might be $200 a day. Well, you need to get $200 a day coming in. I don't care how you do it. So that's what I would say. $100 a day keeps poverty away for Liz and I. If we made $100 a day, you're like $100. I know, but if we just made $100 a day, like we're not going backwards. Our life is okay. Like, but if it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I haven't made $100, I'm like, whoa, we didn't hit our goal for the day. As simple and as minuscule as that number is. So it might be $1,000 a day for some of you guys. I don't know.
You're always dropping nuggets, man.
I don't know. Whatever. That's the cough drop.
Blake Albertson snuck
How's it
in
going?
with B&B Lawn Care.
B&B.
The few of y'all that may not know Blake, tell us about yourself real quick.
About myself, run a lawn care company in Kansas City, Missouri. Have a wife, twins, YouTube channel, Instagram,
You got it all, man.
TikTok famous.
TikTok, and yeah, getting ready for the season to start. Hanging out
Awesome,
here
man.
with great people, learning some things, and enjoying life. in
Awesome,
Florida.
man. I'm just glad to be here with y'all. Jason, why don't we take one more question?
All right.
One more, because I want to wrap it up and then respect people's bedtimes. Let's take one more question.
Yeah.
It's going to be for Blake. You're going to answer it.
Cool.
And then I want to get everybody in the house, everybody, right, Shawn? Even you, everybody. One last question. What?
Everyone on your lap?
No.
Right here on his
Around, behind. So, one last question.
Blake, from the audience here, somebody's asking us to lose what Brian's talking about, but the government could potentially be passing a nationwide $15 minimum wage law. How would that affect our industry and maybe even your business specifically?
Yeah, well, like we were talking about here,
Question.
hiring somebody to manage a crew or somebody that may have experience, you're already going to be creeping up beyond $15 an hour. And just like you stated, Brian, Amazon is starting at $60 an hour, health insurance benefits and things like that. So I think for a lot of us getting started in the business, maybe wanting to hire, the $10, $11, $12, $13, you might have to move that up a little bit. It will take a hit, but if you do raise your prices on your customers, have a more dense route so you're not wasting time driving places. Maybe cut some expenses here and there. Maybe use that mower another year. Things like that. So I think initially it could affect our businesses, maybe if you're looking for those employees that are below $50 an hour. But I think, after a year or two, you can make those changes to your business and it wouldn't really matter. On the other flip side, and I don't want to get too political here, but I think it would raise the cost of a lot of things, like the cost of our business. So you're gonna have to raise prices to deal with all of that inflation. I think that would be a bigger effect than the actual per hour cost of an employee. So
One thing I love to chime in is, let's take the minimum wage thing out, for example. Let's just take that part out of the equation. I heard a stat and some article a while back that I read, maybe 5-6 years ago, and it was really good information to me. It said that most people, like 18 to 25, what they're looking for when they get hired into a new job, it talked about the top 5 priorities those people had, and compensation was actually number 5. So let's take the minimum wage out and the hourly rate out of the conversation. if you're just trying to compete on having somebody in for 10, 12, 15, 18 bucks an hour, and the next guy comes over and says, hey, I'll pay you, you got a guy on your crew for 15, and the next company says, I'll pay him $15.50, right? Well, that guy's gonna leave because he's getting 50 cents more. But they actually found that compensation was like number 5 on the rungs for why people work for somebody or why they leave for somebody. Like, for example, like it was having a competitive and challenging work environment was one of the things that most people were looking for in a job. Finding meaning and fulfillment in work that they do, being part of a team, being empowered to lead in an organization. Think about what we do for a living. It's a challenging, fast-paced work environment. There's crew leaders and team leaders, and I don't care if you just have a 2-man team with one guy mowing, one guy trimming. Some people have autonomy, you know, working by themselves, being entrepreneurs. So think about everything that we do for an industry and in a business. We meet these 3, 4, 5 different things, and oh, by the way, we pay pretty fairly. So if you're just competing on price all the time with wages, whether the minimum wage is $12 an hour, $15 an hour, $18 an hour, it's almost like the real question and the real root problem again is we have to make sure that what we're doing to offer these jobs is more attractive than just the hourly rate in itself. In my opinion, of course.
I agree.
Yeah.
Alrighty. If you're still tuning in, don't leave just yet. I want to get everybody that's in this house behind me or in front of the camera. That way you can see everybody for the first annual Hype House 2021. The wives, the support teams, everything, everybody. Come on.
67 current viewers.
3 times better than ever.
It's the hype.
It is.
Hype House, baby.
And everybody give it up for Mitchell for getting our lighting and microphone.
But is everybody in here?
Are we good?
Well, you guys didn't like my lighting in my live the other night?
I don't know if they
Paul.
can see you up there.
You want me to go get,
Go get Frank.
yeah, go with Frank and
Cameraman.
Tracy. They're having a meeting.
Where are they at?
They're talking keto.
You can go out there and yell.
They're on their
holler down
balcony.
to them.
They're probably doing
right there. on the
It's all
balcony.
right.
Go ahead.
Paul,
They're probably
get in
doing
here
their
real
thing.
quick.
They're probably doing their thing. Here you go,
I
Paul.
wanted to get a picture. This looks
Yeah.
cool.
Well, go ask them then.
Frank and Tracy.
They're on the
No,
balcony.
They're probably doing their
I'm
thing.
saying if you go
Set
out
up your
there and
camera.
say that.
Oh man, no, we're gonna this thing's gonna plummet.
I'm getting ready to end it.
Hey Frank.
Hey, Frank.
Frankie. Hey, if you guys are watching still, big thumbs up on the video, and where are we at tomorrow night?
Yeah, what's going on tomorrow?
That's a good question.
Andy Mulder and Caleb Auman.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night.
Auman Landscaping.
Auman
Oh.
Landscape,
And Andy Moore.
viewers.
Andy Mulder,
Josh Sutton is coming.
Josh Sutton.
Somebody's en route.
Yeah,
Andy.
Andy will be here in an hour.
So the YouTube channel at Auman Landscape.
At Auman Landscape.
Auman Landscape. Or
At
you gotta put that in
MMS.
a comment or something.
Yeah. I'll have to edit,
People
yeah.
thought it was like, what is he? Adams Landscape? No, it's
I told him
Auman
that he talks too
Landscape.
fast.
Almond, yeah. Oh, God.
Auman.
Not like the nut.
Sorry.
Sorry, Tracy.
Frank, can you film this?
Come on in.
Yeah, excuse me.
Time to earn that room, Frank.
Hey, real quick, can you guys say welcome to the Hype House for my vlog? 3, 2, 1.
Welcome
Alright, thank you.
Hook 'em.
There you go. Sound too hype.
Was it recording?
The mic was on.
There's a
Yeah.
chair
was
over
on.
next to
Behind the
me.
scenes.
Hey, yeah, we're still live. Would you get over here?
Yeah.
Here you go, bud.
All right, so
Jamie for this.
like I said multiple times, I'm very, very, very thankful that I was invited here. I'm probably the true rookie in this group, even though you're the lawn care rookie. I'm the social media rookie in this group. These guys have been on this a lot longer than I have, so I'm honored to be here. Y'all are all friends. I promise I'm not going to cry. But anyways, this is the Hype House. Dr. Frank, come on in here too.
Watch the cables.
Watch the cables. Let the people see you.
You gotta forget.
Step over here.
You have one job to take a picture too, though.
Okay, take a picture
You're
now.
gonna be on.
Yeah, hurry up.
Okay, here we go.
You got one job.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, smile. Here we go.
Alrighty.
Did I do it?
You didn't do it, but just come in here.
Let's go one more time. I see the button. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now we're laughing. It'll be good. Here we go.
He's a great pro. We got everybody in the lab.
Watch the cords.
Watch the cord right there.
Watch the cords.
Jesus.
Watch
Oh,
the
God.
Now what do I do?
Just come around
So I
here.
can be in the picture?
Yeah.
All right.
So, and this is Dr. Frank.
Dr. Frank.
All righty. So, thanks for tuning in. Anybody have any last words?
I love Frank.
Keep
All right.
going, keep growing.
And,
cut that grass.
cut
make
that grass
cash.
and make that cash. Y'all have a good night.
See you guys. That's a good one right there. That's a good way to close that.
All
Will
right.
you read live?
Here, I'll take a picture. real